Buying a home for the first time isn't easy. It can be very stressful. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips so you can buy a home with confidence. Don't overspend. Which seems kind of obvious, right? You have a budget, you don't overspend on your budget. It's common sense, but here's the tricky part. So you go to a lender and you get pre-approved and they say, all right, buyer, you're approved for $450,000 or whatever it ends up being. And yes, you're absolutely approved for that amount. You could purchase a home for $450,000. However, it may not make sense for your budget because what you have to realize is, yes, lenders are great. They can provide you with a lot of resources and knowledge, but one thing that they don't do is help you with your financial planning. They're just telling you the max amount of money that you can absolutely afford on a home. Really what you want to do when you're trying to figure out how much home you can afford is figuring out your budget. And to help you do that, I have an affordability calculator that you can use for free. The link is in the description. There's some expenses that are rising for a lot of people, like property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and that's only related to the house. There are other things that are getting more expensive, like Netflix and groceries. So when you're doing your budget, make sure you leave a little bit of room to play with. The next tip is to pay attention to the condition of the house. When you're touring a home for the first time, it's easy to get wrapped up in all the different updates or just kind of imagining yourself and your family living and growing in the home. But you also want to pay attention to certain things like the major systems of the home, like the roof, the AC, electrical, plumbing. It's easy to see a home that's maybe recently been updated where cosmetically it looks really nice and you fall in love with it, but then at the end of the day, the major systems of the home haven't been touched. So the roof is old, the AC is older, electrical isn't current, maybe it has aluminum wiring, maybe the windows are old and not energy efficient, things like that. Now, your real estate agent should help you when you're looking at homes to figure out what the condition of the home is. If you need help finding a real estate agent, I can help you with that. The link is in the description. Also, when I'm looking at a home to try to figure out the condition of it, I'm looking at the ceiling and the walls to see if there's any cracks, which could mean that there's foundation issues. I'm also looking for wet spots that could be signs of current or past leaks. You want to look around the windows and the door frame if there are any wood rot, things like that. Then, of course, if you end up putting an offer on the home and it gets accepted, you'll want to hire an inspector. Now, the home buying process can be expensive, and an inspector is part of the expenses. But in my opinion, it's best to invest money up front by getting a thorough inspection because it could save you money in the long run. So this is what I mean. When you get an inspection, there are different types of inspections you can get. Now, depending on where you live, some inspections may be customary and some may not be. If the home has a pool, it probably makes sense to get a pool inspection. I would get a WDO inspection or wood destroying organisms inspection. That might be more of a Florida thing, but I think it makes sense because they look for termites, things like that. If there's a septic tank, you'd want to get that inspected if that's not already required in your area. Radon inspection if that's customary in your area. If you're on public sewer, you can get the pipes inspected that run from your house to the public sewer. Basically, what I recommend is having a thorough inspection, but know that it does come with a price. However, there have been times where I've had clients that have had a thorough inspection. Something did come up on the inspection that would have been a major deal breaker for them, and they were able to either negotiate for that item to get repaired, or they just pulled out of the deal because the home would have ended up being a money pit. So doing your due diligence up front before you buy a home can give you the confidence that you're buying a home that's in good condition and you're not going to have to invest a whole bunch of money up front or in the near future to repair major issues with the home. The next tip is do your own research. And this is really important because the whole home buying process is kind of confusing because you hire a lender, you hire a real estate agent, and obviously the expectation is these professionals will guide you through the process 100% and will tell you exactly how to buy a home successfully, which at its core is true. However, I have found it helpful if the buyers are able to do their own research so they can be knowledgeable and challenge their lender or real estate agent if something doesn't make sense. Some of the things that I would make sure I do research on are types of loans. You want to know all the different types of loans that are out there. Now, I'm not saying that you have to research everything and know all the ins and outs of every single loan, but I think ultimately it's just having having a general understanding, so then you can ask the right questions to your lender, because they might pre-approve you for a certain amount for a conventional loan by putting, let's say, 15% down. But maybe it would make more sense for you to get an FHA loan and only put 3.5% down, and then you can save some of that money that you put on a down payment for something else or improvements on the home, whatever you want. Knowing that you have different options is important. You can ask questions and get advice from your lender to see what would be the best loan program for your situation. You also want to research your local market. Basically, you want to have a good understanding of how much homes are selling for in the area that you're looking in, how long they're staying on the market, and what competition looks like. You also want to know what the pricing trends look like. Are they going to go up? Are they going down in your area? And again, this is something that you can lean on your real estate agent for advice and their expertise. For instance, you can ask your real estate agent to do a CMA or comparative market analysis on homes that you're interested in making an offer on, to make sure that you're not overspending for the property. You also want to have a general idea of how the home buying process works. I have a free home buyer course, the link is in the description. By having a general idea of how the home buying process works, you can tell when things aren't adding up. I don't know how many times I've had someone ask me about an issue that they're having in their real estate transaction when they're really not sure if they're being told the right thing by the real estate agent. So again, having an idea of what's supposed to happen in the home buying process and being able to identify when things don't seem right or they're not adding up can help you make informed decisions when buying a home. By budgeting, paying attention to the condition of the home, and doing your own research, you can have a successful home buying transaction and buy with confidence. To learn how you can buy a home with zero money down, check out this video or this video about buying a home with a low interest rate. Thanks for watching to the end, especially if you're a subscriber.